The most push-ups I've ever done in my life, I was in a jail cell in Stevenage. The guy who was checking us in, real fat, arrogant police officer bullshit. And I was telling him I shouldn't have been arrested and I was innocent and everything. He goes, well, we don't often make mistakes. Just made a cunt, checking me and taking my fingerprints, all this crap. And I saw that he had the cameras for the cells in the back. So when I went to my police cell, they gave me some book, worst book I ever read. So I'd read 3 pages, 50 push-ups. 3 pages, 50 push-ups. So I did that for like an hour, and then when they took me back out, the fat guy goes, oh, Iron Man, to make fun of me. So I thought, now I know he's watching, and he's jealous, so now I have to do the push-ups. So after like 3 hours of this, I'm at the point where my arms are like jelly, but I'm getting up, looking at the camera like, just pushing out these awful push-ups. I was there for 23 hours. I slept for like 6-7 hours of it, so the rest of the time it was 3 pages, 50 push-ups, staring at the camera.
The people you are learning from in school aren't even fucking rich. Your business professors never had a business. They're brokies. They're fucking broke. So school's a scam.
When people say things like money doesn't buy happiness, I would say yes, it actually does if you know what to buy. Lamborghinis are cool, Bugattis are cool, but you know, calling your mother and saying, hey mom, well, you're working that shitty job in that kitchen, washing those dishes, you know what, you never have to work again. That's happy. It takes money to make things like that happen.
Hanging with your boys is the #1 most interesting activity that's ever going to exist on the planet Earth. It's the funnest thing there is to possibly do. To sit around in the room with your guys and talk shit. We can end up broke in the Philippines with $25 in the bank and we will laugh. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's all about the people who are around you.
When people say I'm lucky and they talk about my money or my kickboxing or whatever, or my physique, I'm like, no, that wasn't luck. But being born with a brother so close in age, that was luck.
He's better and not skinny as fuck and actually has something going for him.
And I think that flicked a switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you, watch this.
I went to a town called Cluj-Napoca. I drove there in my Chiron and I parked up and a kid came up and he said, hey, can I take some photos of your car? I have a car spotting page. I was like, yeah, whatever, cool. And he goes, yeah, okay, I'll just be a few minutes of this. So he took a bunch of photos and he come up to me and goes, hey, do you want the photos? And I was like, not really, I've already have photos. And he goes, oh yeah, okay. Well, if you want them, here's my email address. And I said to him, why do you do this? Like, you spend all day standing around taking photos of other people's cars. Is that not a waste of time? I thought it was a waste of time, but I was wrong. He goes, oh, well, I skipped school and I skipped college because I knew if I take pictures of expensive cars and email them to people, I'll have email addresses of the richest people in Romania.
Yeah, smart.
I was like, you're clever. I ended up hiring him. He works for me now.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I like you. He got himself a full-time job that day. So he understood, be near the money. I have no money. Money's over there. Well, let me get closer to it.
Stop sitting there with an ego. Realize you ain't shit. Most of you could go look in the mirror right now. And if you were totally honest with yourself, go look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, if I was a hot bitch, would I fuck me? And the answer for most of you is no. So you can't be mad at women. They've got eyes. They see the same shit you see right now. And they just don't, the answer's fucking no. You ain't got shit worth fucking, my friend. Let me make something clear. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them. Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. And you believe depression is a crippling disease. And that's why you're afraid of it. I don't believe in depression. I cannot be depressed.
If you were Elon Musk, this idea of charging $8 now a month to access the blue tick premium Twitter account, would you do that? Would you pay the extra?
I think that social media companies for a very long time have lived in an absolute fantasy where they've printed money from thin air by charging people for pixels, and they grew into these large conglomerates with too many staff sitting around doing nothing, having coffee breaks. And Elon Musk is a businessman. He's walked into the office and he's firing a bunch of people who are messing around doing nothing, and he wants his business to make money, as it absolutely should. And how he decides that happens is his prerogative. I don't see why we should sit and accept that a website needs 200,000 people sitting around discussing in long meetings, sitting on beanbags about policy of human rights of some garbage, when he's come along and said, no, I'm a businessman, we're going to charge for our service, we're going to reduce the number of staff, and we're going to be a functional, coherent company.
There's two things that happen when you get to a certain status in life. One, you realize how much you need lawyers.
You know, when I was a brokey, I used to hear about all these lawyers getting paid all this money, and I was like, why do you need lawyers all the time? Why are rich people always saying, call my lawyer? Why do you need a lawyer? I don't have a lawyer because I was broke. When you're broke, you don't need a lawyer. You know the first thing you need when you get rich? A lawyer. Because the government comes after you, people sue you, baby mama wants more money, whatever. Talk to my lawyer. So legal fees are one thing that's going to hit you. And often something else that hits you is you realize once you get to a certain point of influence, no matter how nice a person you are, it doesn't matter if you're a normal ass pop star, doesn't matter if you're a politician, doesn't matter if you're top G. Once you get to a certain point of influence, you just get thousands of death threats a day. It's strange. The world is a very weird place. And I grew up in a world where death threats meant something. And I know that 99.9% of these death threats don't mean anything, but it's kind of crazy.
How much is enough money? I don't know how much you're worth. I don't know if you feel that. Guess. $300 million.
Pretty close, yeah.
I read online it was 235.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Are you
I want
cool?
999 million.
After you get $1 billion, they get you? That's what I've
They're
heard.
going to get me anyway before that, probably. I'm going to try my best to avoid that. Truthfully, after $20 million, life is basically the same. If you don't want to buy a jet and you don't want to buy a yacht, you're never going to need more than $20 million. What's actually kind of amazing to me is when I was poor, I thought, if I got rich, I'd buy all this stuff. And now I'm rich and I can buy anything I want. And there's nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. Clothes, I already have too many. My wardrobe's completely full head to toe. Don't wear most of them. Diamond watches, you get 10. How many do you really need? Cars, I have 28. I drive like 4 of them. Like, what's there to buy? 25 million, that's as good as life can really get. You're flying private. You're staying in the best hotels. You're eating what you want. You drive the car you want. You wear the clothes you want. You have the watch you want. And that's it.
You study hard, you can be a doctor. Go study medicine. Study, study, study. Give up your whole life in school. Then you get to be a doctor. You can't even buy a motherfucking sports car.
My teacher would always sit there and go, Andrew, the biggest waste of potential I've ever seen. Because you could be so smart, but you just don't listen. Smarter than you now, bitch.
I get the base, I got beef in the cook, a bit solid diamond, bitch, they sit on my wrist.
Lots of people always ask me, how do I get rich? And I say, when's the last time you talked about money? When's the last time you sat down with your friends and refused to talk about anything else but how to make money? How's that guy making money? How's that coffee shop there making money? Like, no one analyzes anything. They just want to get rich, but they have no plan to get rich. This is a challenge for every single person watching this. Next time you sit with your friends, unprompted, come in, sit down, and just join in the conversation. And after about 20 seconds, sit and think, this is bullshit. This is not going to make any of us rich. They're talking about this, that, this bitch, fucking football game, this guy. That I am wasting my life. The time to get rich is running out. Slavery is coming, and you're not going to be able to escape.
How often do you off?
I can state here publicly on the internet that I have not mapped once in maybe 10 years.
Damn.
Never. I don't think I'd literally be able to pull it off because God's always watching. God loves me.
Okay.
Me and God are close.
That's an interesting answer.
How do you deal with procrastination?
Why are you asking me that question? Why are you on this podcast asking me how to stop procrastinating? Turn off YouTube. Go do something. You know the answer is to stop doing things that waste your time and apply yourself to something important. Everyone knows what a push-up is. Do 10,000 of them a day. Stop wasting your fucking time. You know, I've never had to deal with not being motivated because what is the alternative? Be a loser forever? I am sick of reading shit on the internet saying, yeah, you know, some people are special and they take longer to bloom and your time will come. Let me tell you something. 99.9% of people who are born broke, live broke, stay broke, die broke. That is the reality for almost everybody. The internet and it's all gonna come to you at the right time bullshit is fucking a psyop to keep you down. You already know the answer. You don't need me to tell.
Number one has to be get in shape. The standard you set on yourself is what's attractive. Yes, the great body and the physical shape comes with it, but I feel like women are attracted to that in general. I mean, there are athletes, there are boxers who, you know, they are a bit fat, MMA fighters. A lot of them, look at some of the heavyweights, are not in the best shape in terms of bodybuilding aesthetically. But the fact that they're up every day learning how to fight, working, training in the gym, it does something to your mind as well as your body that women find attractive.
What's the worst way to start your morning?
Breakfast.
Yeah. What, like having to eat it, or like just the idea of breakfast?
I think that breakfast is the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity.
Why?
It's terrible. You're going to wake up and just eat a bunch of food. You haven't had to do any work. You haven't had to hunt for that food, kill that food. You haven't made any money. You've done nothing conquest orientated since you've woken up, and you're just going to sit there and stuff your face.
So you have to earn your meals.
Why not? We ain't going to die. You can go weeks without food. You should wake up and you should stay hungry for hours and hours and hours until you've made some money or done something of note or been to the gym
gym or progressed in some way, so you think I deserve something.
You deserved it.